Oh, Broncos country. Oh my goodness. Do I feel alive? Finally, the Denver Broncos beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The streak is dead, and I'm joined by the one and only former NFL player, owner of SixZero Academy, and host of the 0 to 60 podcast, Matt McChesney. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. The streak is definitely over, and it took a cold day in Denver to get it done, but sometimes a cold day in hell is what you need. And they made life hell for Mahomes, and Swift couldn't make it to Denver, and Kelsey looked really sad at the end of the game. That was my favorite part. And the Kool-Aid man's got to go back to Kansas City with an L, and this should look. If you're not excited about this as a Broncos fan and you still think they should go the other direction, like at this point, I don't know if I'm selling everybody anymore. Like, narrative can change every week. And last week I wanted everybody gone. And if Jerry Jeudy's going to play like that and they're going to look like a football team and Sean Payton's going to run offense correctly and, they're actually going to perform like professionals, I think we might have something. I'm not really sure.
I'm with you. I think, to an extent, I worry about going all in on this team. Sorry, I need to restart this. It's going to be a hard conversation at the end of Tuesday, I guess, that they have to figure out, because do you push your chips in on this team? That's kind of what they did this offseason. This team, with the veterans it has, with the financial investments, they are built to try and win games now. It seems like that's on the table. They're what, a game and a half, I think just one game out of the AFC wildcard picture right now. Do you want to start stripping this roster for parts? Or, I think the counter argument to that is, what if you go all in on this team and then you get smacked by the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football and you're standing around feeling silly that you didn't move off Jerry Jeudy maybe while his stock was high?
Well, look, coulda, woulda, shoulda is nice, but if they were going to trade everybody, they missed their window because they just beat the quote unquote best team in the NFL, and they broke a streak, and they made Mahomes look pedestrian. And the Kansas City's defense played well, but Denver's offense played better. The offensive line has severe pass protection problems, but they ran the ball really well. And Russell holds the ball for a long time, so a couple of those sacks I can't put all on the offensive line, but a couple of them I can. So there's a lot to improve on, but this is the way Denver wins. And I've been saying this since day one when Sean Payton came in, praying to God that he would run the ball more than he throws the ball. And I don't know what the numbers were today, but it damn sure felt like it was at least even, or that they definitely ran the ball more than they threw the football. And that is the recipe for success. You control the time of possession. You allow the defense to play with the lead, and we see what they do with the lead. I understand that they gave up 70 points this year at one point, but since then, VJ has kind of just figured out how to sit back and let his guys do their thing. And, it's leaders like Justin Simmons going to him and saying, stop complicating shit and just let us play football. So if the defense is going to play like that and they're going to have that kind of confidence and they run the football and Russ doesn't go out there and play hero ball, which it seems like he's doing less and less and less of, this team has every opportunity to be effective and efficient, and there's no reason that they should, just pony up and kick all their rocks to the middle of the table. They're going to have to do that in the offseason anyway. Let's be real, bro. I would say that the majority of the starters on offense, like, you could really say they may not be back here next year. But if they go on a playoff run, everybody might be back. You might be signing Bowles to a one-year contract. So, it's, if they want to do something, you're going to Orchard Park Monday night, and Buffalo is very beatable. Extremely beatable. They are really inconsistent up front. Josh Allen will give you the football. Their defense can get after you, but you can just hammer them running the football if you do it correctly. And, they struggle with crossing routes and passing off coverages. And, it's an opportunity to go there on national TV and kind of resurrect the Bronco franchise a little bit, in my opinion.
I fully agree. I think it could be massive. I don't know. This could be the moment that catalyzes everything. Sean Payton, back when they were 1-5, brought up the Detroit Lions as kind of a touchstone. Like, look what could be done. And man, with how weak the AFC looks all of a sudden, I do think the door's open there. It's a gamble. I'm curious, what would your reaction be as a player? You come off a win like this, the best win the franchise has had in such a long time. If they were to trade off a piece, if you're one of the guys in the locker room, is that the kind of thing that loses a locker room or disrupts what seems to be some real positive momentum for the Sean Payton regime?
Yeah, I think if they were to, even though Jerry Jeudy is the biggest turd of all turds, I think if they got rid of him right now, we would probably piss everybody off. Most likely. Other than that, I mean, they're not trading Josie Jewell. He balled out today. They can't trade Garrett. They don't have a replacement. Like, the only guys that you could actually say, but Brandon Johnson just went to IR, so you can't really, like, are you really replacing? So, unless you're getting a player back, and that's not what this is about. This is a draft pick consolidation if they're going to be trading guys right now. Look, Sutton played well today. I think Sutton is a guy who should be, the top receiver in football. And Jeudy and Sutton together notoriously throughout the years have just sucked. Like, one of them is either really good and one of them has fallen off, or they can't just be great together. And today they were both awesome together, and Russ looked pretty good. And, there's a lot of holes on the offense, but everybody's got holes. There's no perfect football teams. So 3-5 sounds a lot better than 2-6. And 4-5 with a win over Kansas City and Buffalo back-to-back. And then who's after Buffalo? Is that the bye week?
Well, you get the bye week now, and then you get Buffalo, and then I'm spacing. They get I think it's a pretty winnable game. They get the Bills, they get the Vikings without Kirk Cousins.
And Cousins is out. He probably tore his Achilles today, based on what I saw.
Yep, in Denver. And then you get the Browns. That quarterback situation, super funky. You get the Texans.
Yeah, I'd say.
Right? That's bizarre. And then you get the Chargers. I mean, until December 17th, when you play the Lions, the Broncos don't play a scary. Oh, and the Bills. You could get the Bills and the Lions, but between now and December 17th, those are the only two.
Yeah, but the Lions can get beat too. Look. Everybody can get beat. If they play like they play today, if they play bully ball, which is control the time possession, run the ball just right at you the entire game, everything set up off play action, and then I don't know how many turnovers they had, but I think it was like 5. And then you get 5 turnovers and a bunch of pressure and sacks, and you're playing with the lead, and you can just unleash all these pass rushers. That's what this team is built for. We are not built to just go out and throw the ball 60 times and try and play hero ball like they've been trying to do here, last year and some of this year. So I understand that if you look at the numbers from last year, they did run the ball pretty well. But I think it's a game by game situation. Like, you really have to understand who you're playing. And if there's holes all over somebody's secondary and you can just go out there and shred somebody like Philadelphia did to the Commanders twice in a month, essentially, then okay, you've got matchup superiority. But if you have the ability to just lean on people the way Denver does, it feeds their defense too. As playing both ways, as a defensive lineman, if they can't run the ball, they are totally screwed. There's nothing you can do. And as an offensive lineman, if they can't stop you running the football, they're absolutely screwed, and there's nothing you can do. You can just control the entire tempo of the football game. So it makes everything easier for the secondary, for the skill players, for the receivers and the quarterbacks when you can control the line of scrimmage. And that's what Denver's been doing, and they showed today that they can do it. So don't revert. Don't go into the bye week and turn into 50 throw Russ and the Sean Payton show on Monday Night Football. Go to Orchard Park and run the ball at the Bills 50 times and control the time possession and walk out there with a dub. They are not that juggernaut that everybody thinks they are.
They aren't, and that front seven has taken a huge step back since Matt Milano, maybe one of the best inside linebackers in the sport. Tore, I think his bicep that is going to be out for that game. Matt, I don't want to take too much of your time here. Who is your stock down of the game? A little bit of a negative here before we get back to the positive.
The pass protection was terrible. I mean, I'm not trying to like put a damper on anything, so I'm not going to post the video I took, but the inability, I went to every training camp practice, okay, and the inability for them to separate penetrators in one-on-ones, and like when they would go 5-on-5 in the one-on-one drills, and they would be playing ETs and Ts and tangos and all these different games that they run at you, the inability for them to do it then and shelf penetrators and be aggressive and like understand the difference in how you set and the way you're supposed to attack certain situations. It now where I don't know what week this is, bro, but I'm pretty sure it's like 8 or 9, and they're still dealing with it. And they got 8 alive today. And Russ is not like this statue of a man. He gets broken a lot. He got broken last year. He can't get hit like this. So I don't know why they can't play the radar game in Boulder, and I don't know why they can't play the radar game in Denver on the offensive lines, but I really don't think it's that difficult, and it's just a lack of drill work or communication or, you know, the problem with this is his powers and bowls. Like they got beat today by Shanley and Jones is a pure 3 technique, but he can rush outside. But I mean, you got to hold the ball like a sumbitch for him to get home there. He's 300 pounds. That's a hard rush for a 300 pounder. But at 3 technique, he's elite. But they line up a linebacker over Powers and Jones in a wide stance outside hand on Bowles. And Bowles totally turns him. He doesn't use his inside hand. Powers oversets. Not only does he overset, but he overextends. He doesn't bait. He doesn't torque. They don't even touch Shanley. He just gets skinny and goes vertical in the hole and gets a huge sack. Those plays in Orchard Park, maybe that's a fumble and a scoop score. So just because it didn't bite us in the ass today doesn't mean it's a good thing. For as well as they ran the ball, their pass protection was poo.
Wow, I'm really interested to hear more of that. I guess how much of the pass protection issues do you think are Russ, and how much do you think are the offensive line? Because I feel like that's an interesting point of discussion. With, like you said, you have to hold the ball a while for Chris Jones to get home. I feel like we saw Russ holding the ball a little too long on a few of those today.
Oh yeah, he holds the ball, but at the same time, it's everybody's working together on this. So if you know Russ holds the ball, which they know because he's Russ, then you can't like be surprised when he takes a sack he's not supposed to take. I don't care if they take a couple of sacks. I care if they're getting like just beat at the point of contact. And I don't know what they give up 6 today.
Yeah,
6 sacks and a win. That's not good. Nobody in the offensive line was getting the game ball with that shit. So it's a consistent problem in the entire National Football League. It will be a problem on Sunday night. It will be a problem on Monday night. The defensive linemen and the linebackers are better athletes. And as an offensive lineman, if you don't do things correctly and you don't have perfect technique damn near every play and do things right, you're going to lose. And I feel like a lot of the time these guys wing it, and you can't wing it in pass protection, bro. You're going to get crushed.
Yeah, I love that. My stock down, I'm going to say the tanking conversation. I think it's really hard to imagine. You look at how many bad teams there are in the NFL right now. I think it's really hard to imagine this team's picking top 5 for me. We went over some of the upcoming schedule. They seem to be playing their best football right now. They seem to be finding an identity with the ground and pound game. I'm getting more and more impressed by Sean Payton's coaching job. I'm a lot less concerned than I was 2-3 weeks ago, where I was like, man, has this guy just lost it? I don't know. I don't know if they'll ultimately end up pushing for a playoff spot. It's just, they've left themselves such little margin for error. But I don't think they'll be picking top 5. I think it's probably more likely they're in that 5 to 10, 5 to 15 range. Now I think they can still find a quarterback of the future in that range. I'm not too down about it. I think there's some optimism. It seems like this franchise is headed in the right direction. If the Sean Payton trade and sign was a huge bust and you couldn't trust the direction of this franchise moving forward, I don't know what you would hang your hat on with the Denver Broncos for 2025 and on, or 2024 and on. And I think you at least have, I don't know, they have a pulse today. They're moving towards respectability. You mentioned the 70-point loss like that. They looked like an FCS team. It was like Weber versus Alabama or something. Just becoming a legitimate NFL franchise again feels nice. And so less tanking talk. And I'm, as someone who's been talking plenty about the tank, I'll shut up.
Yeah, Miami's got a hell of a home field advantage. Yeah, we should go down there 2 days beforehand every time. The guys will all stay in the hotel. They didn't go party.
I like that plan.
Shit.
Worked out pretty well. I'm fan. We had the Mahomes flu game and all of it. All right, let's get positive again. What's your stock up?
Just Broncos country. Like, bro, got a dub. We beat the Chiefs. Finally, now can we beat the damn Raiders at the end of the season and please end that streak? But look, if you're a Broncos fan right now, you should feel good. You can wear your orange and blue with pride this week and talk some junk to some Chief fans, which you have not been able to say anything to in years. They can still flash rings at you, but I mean, let's be real. That's even. They got 3 and we got 3. So, it's I wouldn't be surprised at all if Denver goes on a run off this win. This is the kind of win where they look at themselves and go, we just beat the world champs and we dominated their ass. And you know what? We're pretty damn good too. And I think that there's a confidence problem in that room. And I'd like to see them walk around with a little bit of cockiness and a little bit of an asshole attitude moving forward and operate like they did today. So, and that goes for all Broncos country. Go be drippy this week and enjoy it because, you got an entire bye week. It's nothing better than winning before the bye. So, and the players, just on your bye week, try not to be absolutely stupid. Okay, go have fun, but just don't be dumb.
Yeah, isn't that I think there's an old coach adage about Saturday night on a bye week is like the most stressful time of the year for the coach. You're just waiting those text messages or that TMZ
4 a.m. text like, hey, I need bail money.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Broncos country, that was almost mine because just getting the monkey off the franchise's back of the Chiefs streak is huge. Like I said in the stock down thing, feeling like a legitimate franchise again feels nice. We can once again kind of open up some, hey, could they challenge for the AFC wild card conversation in Broncos country? I think all that's fun. Huge stock up for Broncos country. So many players I want to talk about: Javonte, Cortland Sutton, just the run game in general. I'll focus in on the young pass rushers. The Chiefs got theirs. You highlighted the Broncos' problems in pass protection, but the Broncos got theirs too. I love seeing what we're seeing from Jonathan Cooper, from Baron Browning, from Nick Benito. Benito hit the quarterback 4 times today. Jonathan Cooper had a quarterback hit or 2 quarterback hits. Baron Browning had 3 and the forced fumble. I mean, just what a game from those guys. If you feel, going forward with the defense, and it's generally been a bumpy season for the defense, but going forward, you have a foundation of 3 young rookie contract edge rushers and the best cornerback in the sport. I mean, that's a good foundation. You can plug in the other pieces around that. The defensive front needs a lot of rebuilding. Absolutely. But you have those 4 pieces moving forward, and I think you can get this defense turned around.
I think the defense is turning around. I don't think we need to turn it around. Look, what they did to Kansas City twice, I'm convinced that they can replicate that. And I think VJ had to look at himself in the mirror. And, VJ was a coach of mine when I was in Boulder, and I know him very well. And he wants nothing more than to be successful here. Why wouldn't he want to be? He doesn't want to be the fall guy like everybody's coined him to be, myself included. So they figured out their strengths, and they're really fast, and Singleton and Jewell are like perfect complements to each other, and Singleton is just a bad man. So the defensive front and the pass rushers, the fact that I saw NASCAR packages today, and NASCAR is like 4 pure pass rushers or 3 pure pass rushers and Zach Allen. And look, hats off to 99. I've been really hard on Zach Allen. I didn't think it was a very good signing. I thought he was kind of a bum and getting his ass kicked a lot. And he showed up and showed out today, and he's been playing a lot better recently. So good for you earning your money, 99. That's what we want. If you're going to play an under front primarily, which is what BJ's defense is, until they get into those even fronts, and NASCAR looks with Cooper and Benito and Browning and Allen all out there pass rushing. If you're going to play an under front, your 3 technique's got to be a Chris Jones type. That's what Kansas City does. They lined up in an under front the entire game today, under G with a 2-eye on the front side. So if that's what Denver wants to be and they're going to give that money to 99, he's earning it, and he played his ass off today. So one hand washes the other here defensively. So it's all about effort, and they are playing super hard. Like that defense came out today on fire, and they played balls to the wall for 60, and now they get a nice break before they have to go on the road and do it. The key is going to be, can they keep replicating this? Because great defenses don't just do it week in and week out. They've got to now put 8-9 weeks together where they hold people to under 20 points. And like you're walking into the playoffs going, the Bronco defense, I know they gave up 70 points once upon a time ago, but the January Bronco defense, that's a mean bunch of mothers right there, and they're coming after us. So they've got the personnel to do it. And if they want to perform like they did today every week, that's why you're called professional football players. So act like a professional, figure out how to replicate everything that happened today defensively, and do it again. Because if you can do it to them, you can do it to anyone.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first unit to overhaul what they were from September. That was like the Bill Belichick special back when the Patriots were great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time, Matt. I don't want to take any
No
more.
problem.
I know we've already gone a little long. Tell people where they can find your work. I know you've got an awesome new podcast coming out, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, check out everything at SixZeroAcademy.com for the gym and college football recruiting and everything we do there for all the high school players and college players and transfer portal, and that's all crazy. The body bag is SixZeroEquipment.com. The Broncos just purchased a bunch of them, all custom and whatnot, so I'm pretty excited about that. That blocking shield, if you're listening, you want to donate one to your high school team or something, check it out, SixZeroEquipment.com. And then tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we'll be launching 0 to 60 on the Believe Network. Bree and I will actually be on tomorrow morning at 9, and then I'll be back on at 2. So I'm doing a 9 a.m. show and a 2 p.m. show, 30 minutes each. The 2 p.m. show will be like guests, and kind of just focused on one big topic, talking a lot of shit. And the 9 a.m. show, Bree and I will be, breaking stuff down. We're going to do a top 6 list every day and just go after any and all topics and have some fun and talk a lot of shit, and it should be pretty cool. So appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me. You and Bree talking shit is appointment viewing. So everyone go check that out. Thank you so much again for watching. We'll be back here Monday with Bree and Joey and everyone. Until then, go Broncos. Savor this one.